This is the Anything But Banker to Broker podcast. We're going to be talking to some of the industry's best and brightest about the unique pathways they took before stepping into broking and how it set them up for success. Thanks for listening. All right. Hey, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I was going to say this year's episode, but nobody knows what year it is. We are in 2025. This will be going out in Feb. We've got Tristan Vercoe on here. I had to ask him how to say his name before because I thought it was, I don't know if it was Vercoe, whatever it is.
Are we in 2025 or 2026, Joe?
Told you. See, I don't know what year it is. It's, you know, people say we should change the date of Australia Day. I'm like, we should change it. We should change it to the 1st of January. So then I know when the year has actually started.
Yeah.
We got Tristan. So Tristan's ex-armed forces. He was in the Navy up in Brizzy. I think it was Townsville as well. He was up there. Is that right?
All over the place.
All over.
Mainly the air station, the Fleet Air Arms down in Nowra, which is south of Sydney, South Coast, New South Wales.
Beautiful area. And now he's obviously working as a broker, otherwise he wouldn't be on the podcast.
Correct.
Yep. But mate, before we get into anything, you transition to finance, your service, obviously, like, talk to me about growing up. What were your mum and dad doing at home?
Mate, I feel very blessed, very grateful. I've got a lovely mum and dad who have given me a great example of caring for people, I guess. Yeah, they're just really, really nice humans who have always tried their best. Pretty humble and nothing crazy there. Like we never went without. Once again, very grateful for that. Dad was an artillery officer in the army. He did over 30 years service. His story in itself is really, really cool. But he grew up in like extreme poverty and ended up getting a scholarship to get out of there, and then joined the army. Went to Duntroon, and even to this day, like the bonds that he made there and the things he learned. He's 70 now. We just had his 70th recently in months in November. And every year he catches up with his like core mates from RMC, which is like from when he was 18. Like from there, they catch up every year and go on a motorbike ride or do whatever. It's really cool. And then, mum, like I suppose we traveled following dad's career a lot. So mum would either be at home with us or pick up work in schools, like we were going to like teachers' aides and admin and stuff like that. And I think mum made a lot of sacrifices, as many did, to the career is quite demanding in terms of time and moving around. So my entire life from like being born was like 6 months in Canberra, and then we moved to RAF base Willitown, and then we went to England, came back, went to Puckapunyal across to Canberra. Every 2-3 years, our entire life we've shuffled, which you can look at everything. You get to choose, like, the way you look at things in life. I really enjoyed it. Like, as you know, I love talking to people. I love meeting new people, which is why I love what I do so much. I think humans are great. I'm the eternal optimist and sickeningly optimistic at times. But yeah, I think very, very, very grateful. So in a nutshell, traveled around with dad's army career. I've got one older brother. He's an absolute legend. He's down in Canberra. Brendan, look up to him greatly. He's a really, really great person with his beautiful family. And that's pretty much it. We're very small. Like, we don't have many extended family or anything. So we've always been a tight-knit little crew.
So your brother, did he follow in your dad's footsteps as well?
No, actually. So Brendan's been in Canberra. He's in the public service, and he's with Border Force. He's sport mad. So I think he's pretty content as long as there's lots of sport getting around. He can go watch a million games. There's footy, cricket, whatever. But I wouldn't say I followed in dad's footsteps by choice. I was a bit of a, I've got a lot of energy. School didn't, I found it difficult to sit still. It's probably a nice way to put it. Still managed to retain a fair bit, which I'm grateful for. But defence for me was a second opportunity to get a great trade, do some study through there, and go off and, I don't want to get too philosophical, but I've definitely got some opinions on kids when they're acting up at school. I think a lot of kids just need to go make their own path. They just need to go have their own journey. And it's not a matter of good parents, bad parents, because as I said, wonderful, caring, loving, capable parents who, like, we never went without for support. We'd never starved, but also just like emotional support that was in droves, which is the most important. And yeah, I think for me, I just had to go make my own journey. Hey, like I just had to, as soon as I got there, I had my own sense of pride. I didn't want to let down the guys. Whereas when my parents were telling me to do things at the school, that was being told. Like it wasn't my thing, if that makes sense.
It's one of them, like, I was probably very, very similar to you in school. Like, I'd get moved around in every lesson, put next to everyone, but I'd speak to everyone, and I hope to think people liked me, so I never got too much in trouble. But when I think it was 16 or 17, I applied to go in the RAF, and when I was a kid, I had childhood epilepsy that I had never had anything happen to me after the age of 10, but I still put it on the application. Got denied. If I didn't put it on there, nothing would have happened to me. Who knows what I would have ended up doing? You know what I mean?
Well, I'm glad
But
you're here now, so that's
yeah,
good.
yeah, exactly. That's it. Like, I'm not going to look back in regret on anything, mate. But what you said there about, like, you got some opinions. Me too. There's a load of crime that's happening in Brisbane, load down in Melbourne, right? With young kids, and they're saying, "Oh, we don't want to lock them up." Like, don't put them in the army. You know what I mean? That's the best place for them to go.
Yeah,
Give them a bit of
100%.
discipline. They love it.
And mate, dude, if I had $1 for every time, so I've mentored a few. When I finished doing my full-time service and when I first started the mortgage broking business, I did like Navy Reserves. I just do 1 day a fortnight and loved it. It was really rewarding. I was in it at the recruitment center and you just met all these people super excited to come in. But I've also unofficially mentored a few kids, get them in, especially when parents are struggling with them, and uh, help them get through. And everyone's like, I don't know how I'm gonna, like, I just can't be told. And everyone says the same thing. I used to say the same thing. And then you get in and it's not like that. Like, yeah, you get told what to do, but it's not the movies, man. Like it's as I
You're not
said,
getting
it's the same.
private piled in a Full Metal Jacket. You know what I mean?
No, no. If it was Major Payne, that'd be different. That was a good movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But that eating scene, that is accurate, where you like
yeah.
just smash it in indigestion 9,000. But I think everyone thinks that it's like going to be like this, but like, yelled at and screamed at and look, recruit schools. But no, it's the defense, especially through the general entry, non-commissioned route, the tradies and all that. Like it's a snippet. It's a microclimate of like the real world, like society, like we're same humans, same people, and then held to a higher standard and taught exactly as you're saying, like some routine. And for a lot of people, if you like this could go like this conversation forever, but what I've learned is that I was very lucky in terms of like just having grounding at home, support at home. But a lot of people haven't been taught some basic skills in terms of routine, cleanliness, hygiene. Like you get a lot of people come in and like I was young, so like you're not so understanding. Looking back now, you're like, these people weren't taught that. They weren't taught like I've taught at sea, like as their supervisor, people 10 years, 15 years older than me about how to drink water, about why their sweat smells, about washing their clothes. Like, and these are things that I got taught when I was a kid. And so it also provides a great opportunity for you to then be placed around people where you have a sense, you're given responsibility and you have to come up to be part of a community, a group, like you're living with people, you're doing all that. And if you've been brought up with minimal guidance, you're now surrounded by people where you can learn from. And that's community, that's humans, it's not just defense. It's like, now I do that in this industry. Like I learn from people, the people who are doing it really well, the people you admire and look up to, aspire to. It's a great thing, man. Like, and I loved it. Like, I don't have a bad word to say about defense.
Yeah. And I think you see it, like, I think that's why you see, like, especially in like mine and your generation, people that don't stick around and do it forever go on and do very remarkable things because it's conditioned them in such a way to do that. Like, maybe the same can't be said for, people that have grown up in our parents and grandparents generation when they left the service. But like, you find a lot of people these days, when they leave, they go on and do very remarkable things because that's the way that it seems like it conditions people from my outside reading.
Yeah. And you probably deal with, I was chatting with a good friend about this recently. Jack, lovely guy, he's done really well for himself since he left, and he works hard. Like Jack works hard. He's a smart guy, but he works very, very hard. We're having a chat about this because we seem to see people go two ways. And it's either 100 miles of running because you're trying to find your new sense of purpose, your new sense of direction, your new sense of meaning, your new community, your new whatever. And yeah, you take those skills and do that work ethic where if you put your name to something, you do everything in your power to let them down. Doesn't mean you can always achieve it. Like, I won't ever promise a client, I promise you I can get this done, because I don't know if the bank's going to say, we know how that goes. But I will always put my hand in my heart and say, I'll give this. If I commit to it, I'll to my detriment, I will do everything I can to try put you in the best spot I can myself. And then you see the opposite, which is really hard to see. And we've seen friends do that, and it's really difficult and I've been very grateful. So just to be clear, like I've been to sea, I've spent a couple of years out at sea on different ships, but I have not had to deal with, I haven't been shot at. I haven't been in warlike situations. So my career is probably very different to a lot of others, like, the army, different roles. So I just want to make that very clear. Like, I had a very blessed career, fun. Certainly had its challenges. And we went on deployment, we went on operations and exercise. So yeah, on operation, not deployed because we got retasked. But yeah, we see a lot of people get out and lose sense of direction. So purpose, why, and struggle to find it again, or get used to if they've been injured. And DVA can be very lucky here compared to some other nations where we do have quite strong support for our veterans through not only DVA and the DVA advocates, who are a wonderful resource and greatly appreciated. But then legatees, and there's so many, like legacy, which is for war widows and families. There's so many great things there. But if people get a payout due to injuries sustained and in the line of duty, then we see some people really struggle with that. So they take it, they start doing nothing, they stop looking for ways to go forward. And then that is where mental health issues really start to lose purpose. And so we see both ways. People go one extreme, which is like, we're going to do everything and love life and full steam ahead, and we only know 100 miles an hour. And then the other side where people struggle. So yeah, that's a mission of mine at the moment, is to try educate or talk with people who are having a hard time.
So, because it kind of reminds me of don't get me wrong, sports players will get paid a lot more when they make it, right? A lot more than any of us will ever earn. But when they're in that junior age, I've seen people that I know, like, they get injured.
Yes.
And they don't
Yes,
make
good
it,
point.
man. It's very similar. I can see it as being very similar, right? Like, they find it hard to go, fuck, what do I actually do now? You know what I mean? But a lot of them, what they'll end up doing then is going and coaching, and they'll end up doing their badges and stuff, right? And they'll still find a really good career within the industry. What is there an equivalent of that? You know what I mean? Like, is there that early support, and what does it look like?
Like what I'll find and what I'll say is very true is, there is support there. You do in some ways, and I'll speak bluntly because I think you get spoon fed. You're protected from you're protected from the real work when you're in defence. Medical's looked after. Yeah, you work hard, but and there's some restrictions on things, but you're quite sheltered from the way the world actually works. And so there's all these services there, and they're there designed to help you integrate, and they're fantastic. Like, there's so many, it's crazy, but you have to use it. Like, you have to go. Like, they'll come to you, but if you don't engage, if you don't actually participate in that, if you don't, you could say, there's money for financial advice. Like, when you get out, for everyone, there's money to go get, they'll pay a financial advisor to give you advice. There's, when you're transitioning out, there's 20 days additional leave for work experience. They'll help you write your resume. There's heaps. And so they'll pay for study. So I did my Cert 4 for mortgage work and paid for by defence. I started my diploma on that, paid for by defence. I got RPL for my advanced, business diplomas, all that, which then got me accreditation with some of the banks that you needed a diploma, all these things. But I went and did it. That's the big thing. I went, I've got a plan. I want to get out in a year. I want to be here by this point. Let's use every bit of it and use it well. And I actually found it to be an incredible service, and what was available. Then I hear people complain about it, and they're like, oh, they just dump you. They just do this. No, you're not doing it. That's my 2 cents. And every situation's different, but to say there's not services that's heaps. You just got to use it.
Yeah, a lot of things these days is like it's there for you. You have to go and seek it out though. You have to
Yeah, you got to
engage.
do the work. I think that's what people like. Yeah, like, you could have, like, the golden ticket in terms of, like, the world's best business. Like, let's just use an example. You get handed a mortgage broking business. Someone just hands it to you. His 400 clients. They're all great clients. I've had them for 30 years. All you have to do is call all of them and introduce yourself and take over, like, we'll take over the books and then reduce your, like, you run it free. You don't
If
call
anyone's listening,
anyone.
by the way, my number is 04.
But like, if you don't go call them, they're going to leave. Like, you can flop a great business in a heartbeat by not putting in the work. Like, nothing comes for free. And all the best things, my friends get so sick of me saying this. All the best things in life are hard. Like, all the best things in life are hard. Because you earn them. Like, anyway, I love
I
that.
hope that's not your chat line as well.
Hey, I got no game. Yeah.
Before we talk about like stuff that you want to talk about, I guess from when you was serving, I always like to go back a little bit and talk about like, because we didn't cover what was the transition like from high school to that. Was it pretty much straight away? Is that what you did? Was there any jobs that you did in between, like to keep yourself busy?
Yeah, and so I've had a job since I was 12.
Nice.
Yeah. So, like, I've always had a job. The first one was fun. That was a fun gig. The very first job I had was as a cleaner at mum's. Mum was working at a school, a primary school. And so, yeah, a couple of times a week. And back then it was like I was 12. So I graduated in 2007. I would have been 17. So like 2002. And I was getting paid like $18 an hour as a 12-year-old back then. But like, you only got 2 hours, like 2 hours work, like once a week or once every fortnight or whatever. Man, that was good. Like, that was a lot of curly whirls. Like, that's a lot of Zupa Dupas. That goes off. And yeah, that was fun. I don't know if I was the best cleaner in the world of being 12 and having the attention span of a newt. But I remember walking around listening to my iPod with it plugged in and the earphones, like, nostalgia coming back. The scroll wheel, spinning it around. Listening to, I think Eminem was big for me at the time. Typical white boy.
Who else? Linkin Park, Numb Encore.
Bro, I'm off to Germany. I'm off to Germany in June, seeing Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, Offspring at Rock am Ring.
Yes, I'd love to go there. Is it in Frankfurt? Is it Frankfurt? Or
Nuremberg.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I feel like they bounce between the two of them, right? Frankfurt and Nuremberg. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I only found out they run the two festivals on the same day. So Rock am Park, Rock am Ring, and they fly near each other and they just fly it's the same lineup.
It's like Leeds and Reading Festival we have in the UK. They're on the same weekend and it's the same acts, but they'll just drive down and one will do the Saturday night, one will do the Sunday night, you know what I mean?
Yeah, smart.
I went and seen the Offspring and Sum 41 a couple of years ago. You've probably seen them as well.
I haven't actually, but I've listened to Offspring Americana, that album.
Big place in your heart. Yeah, they were good. Who else do you want to see? Blink 182 as well. They were good when they did their tour of here.
Yeah. I saw Dead Poet Society recently. Been doing a few bands. Yeah, really getting into gigs. I got Till Lindemann from Rammstein next week.
Nice.
But I also enjoy a cheeky disco boogie and a rave. Like, I like acoustic. I like classical. I had a harmonica arrive yet. I'm going to try and learn an instrument.
Nice.
We'll see how my attention span goes. Yeah, I've got to be.
I just want to learn what's the Bob Dylan one, like the start of How Many Roads Must a Man Walk?
Yeah.
You know, you just want to hear that. That's all you got to learn. All right, because we could tangent, and I don't want us to do that.
Oh, big time. Sorry. Yeah,
but we could do. That's not your fault. No, you don't have to apologize. I took us there. You just followed the path.
Yeah.
So your first job was at 12, right?
Yeah.
Which,
and then I worked at, like, I think I was doing stacking cases at Jim Murphy's, not Dan Murphy's, but it was a big liquor wholesaler then when I was like 13, and then worked at like supermarket. Did heaps. Just the usual jobs. Never worked fast food, which I think from all accounts,
like a rite of passage. But
yeah, it's a rite of passage. So I skipped that. Always had a job, and then when I left school, I was concreting. So yeah, got a job concreting. I'd actually got into the Navy, but I put it on hold because I was, met a girl. Yeah, I was hanging out. Yeah, like, just, I don't think I was quite, I'm glad I waited because I did the concreting and it taught me a lot about hard work, good, honest work. And then when I was done, done with that, I was ready to go start my journey elsewhere. Like those guys work hard. Hats off to the,
Yeah.
proper hard work. And so, yeah, we're doing big commercial sites and, um, yeah, enjoyed that. Like, remember getting a raise when the others didn't, because I rocked up, like I was always there on time and I was always just happy to stay as late as needed. So they'd be like, who's going to finish? Like, you'd be in Canberra,
Hmm.
cold winter, concrete's not going off, like it's starting to get dark. And the stairs, I just remember this set of stairs at this big commercial site hadn't gone off. So if you know nothing about concreting, like it just, you need to be there to finish it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it just wasn't going off. And no, I'm not staying. It's freezing. It's like starting to get into the negatives, and I had my jacket there. And boss was like, "Give you a pay rise if you stay." And I was there till 11:30 that night, just with a torch, just waiting, and just freezing cold. Yeah, and then that's cool. That's a proud moment for me. Actually, I just
So
learnt about getting it done.
going off is when it starts to set. Is that right? Is that what you mean?
Yep. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's when you've got to go over it with the trowel or whatever, and
Yeah, depending what the finish is. Yeah, and if there's, depending on, because there's chemicals in there, if you put too much hardener in and it goes off, then it can bake really, really quickly. And if there's not enough or there's too much water, a bit of an art to it, which wasn't my, like I was just the labourer boy, but it's fun, man, and like just hard. It's just hard work. Like it was good, enjoyed, and pretty funny. Like it was, the guys you worked with were like characters. The very, very interesting guys. They're funny.
and then when things either broke down or you got bored, that's when you went off to the Navy. Is that fair
Yeah,
to
yeah. I
say?
think it was just like I was just ready. Like it was just like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
time. Yeah, ready to go now. And yeah, mate, loved it. So cool journey through there. I could bang on about this for yonks, but I got a cool trade. Like I went and did the aptitude testing. They're like, oh, you can do anything you like within the trade route. And so I chose aviation. Honestly, I was just like, which one pays the most? I'm going to do that. Cool, great. That was my whole thought process at that age. But I'm glad I did because it has actually, there's a few things that are translated really well in the broking world, especially around compliance and process. Aviation, you're probably very unsurprised to know, is compliance out the wazoo.
Yeah.
It makes sense. You don't want
Very
things to fall
unsurprised. Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but mate, it
People
was,
flying off the ground in
yeah,
vehicles.
yeah,
You
yeah,
never know.
yeah. It's good, man. But mate, it's so much fun. Like all the guys you met, all the girls you met, like just being in an environment. Like we started off down at HMAS Cerberus down in Melbourne, then I did a year and a half at Wagga, which is where we did our trade training, and that was tri-service. So that's Army, Navy, Air Force. We did all our aviation training there and trade skills. Sweet time, like really good fun and pretty handy being like 3 hours down the road from where the family was. Yeah, it was just such a, like the people you meet, like living and then studying and then hanging out together. Like you do everything together. So you learn people's weak points, you learn people's stronger points, you learn to work together, even if like, at the end of the day, if you've had a bad day with someone, you're about to go stay with them. Like you're about to go and get in, like, often the same room at the end of that. And so you have to learn how to manage that and how to work through it. And
Manage stress, manage your emotions, like manage relationships. Like, yeah,
yeah, very much, very much. And just funny, like like adult crash at times. Like you worked hard and then you played hard. And I just mean in terms of like, pranks and laughing. And yeah, no, it was cool. Just really, really close mates. And throughout the career, you get used to just being away from people for years at a time, which I was from, like, would see dad's friends every few years. Like, the different people come and go because they're posted or they're deployed or whatever. And so, like, truly, it is always like you have never. I caught up with my mate Corey the other day when I was up the Sunshine Coast over the break. We hadn't caught up in a bit, just bang, like, just pissing ourselves laughing, like, straight on. He's like, yeah, you're always stoked for whatever each other's doing. Like just everyone's pumping each other up. Like it's cool. Like it's cool. Everyone gets around each other and whether they stay in or get out, it's very close friends. Very close.
it's shared life experiences, mate. Like, mate of mine, he's got a funny story, but anyway, he's now in Sydney. He was in Brisbane. Mum and dad moved over from England, yada, yada, yada. Me and him met at uni and we went through that whole living by yourself, doing that. Like, don't get me wrong, uni's not the same as what you did, but you know, we were living by ourselves, feeding ourselves, washing our clothes, taking care of ourselves. Same as, man, I'd not seen him in 5 years, sat down, bang, straight back on. Cause like you've gone through shared lived life experiences that like, you know, you've had to, you're not even saying, mate, I'm here for you if you need me, but it's like, you already know, you know what I mean?
You just know. You
Yeah.
just know. Yeah, it's so cool. And it is the same. Like, that is the same, man. Like, it's like, yeah, you hang out, when you're growing together. Like, you go through, as you said, shared experiences are key phases. Like, yeah, I mean, like just watching people, like your friends have kids and succeed and like kick ass or like go down different paths. That's the other cool thing, seeing people like change roles within defense and pursuing other careers, like within defense even, or some going to officer. Yeah, just so many friends you're just proud of. Like, you're just super proud of what they do. And yeah, man, it's definitely challenging times. Like, you know, I could talk about, you know, Glossa, or there's certainly testing times, but it's funny. That's what we all laugh about now. Like, that's what we reminisce on the most. And it's not to whinge and say how crap that was. We just laugh about, because how you band together. Like, we're out at sea for a very extended period of time and you get weird. Like, you've spent too long, so you start like playing pranks on each other and just doing like, it's just like
They're crazy. That's
childish.
what you become.
Yeah,
Pretty
stir
much.
crazy,
Yeah.
childish stuff. So
Yeah.
funny. Like, just the dumbest things. And I'm not going to share any because like I don't know if defense will
You don't
like,
have
love
to tell
it.
me,
But
man.
yeah,
I already
man.
know some of the stuff you'd be doing because I'd have been doing it too. Don't worry.
Yeah. It's so fun. Like, it's so good. And then pull into port and you just have such a great time. And from the like, and I suppose the more serious side, the things that take out, like not serious, just less fun. That the mentors, like I was so blessed, so grateful, man. Like I've had so many. I just think I had a lucky career, or maybe a career, like I don't know, it doesn't matter. I just had good people around me, like great mentors who, like Dave Bragg, Rick Dory, man, the like Hagedorn, Haggis, Stoney. Like every time I went to sea, I just had these men, like because I was a young man, these men who had been through this. And Haggis had done, like he was over in Somalia in the army as a 19-year-old. Like
Yeah.
and now he's transferred to Navy to slow things down. Like these guys were just so knew how to lead a team and get the best out of them, and like work like when to be lenient, when not. Like, man, I got smacked plenty of times. Like, you know, I was not a perfect boy through defense, but I listened. Like, I think that was because you respected them and they knew how to do that well. Something that I've struggled with getting out, which I've spoken with, but yeah, a few people around. It's very direct communication. So which I love to really appreciate, because it doesn't mean that you're being spoken down to. Like, it's just like, you're doing this wrong. This is how it should be done, or that behavior is unacceptable, or be better. Like, you know, you are not doing. I know you can do better. I've seen you do better. You're not pulling your weight. And it's not like, how are you feeling today? It's like, mate, like without
That's
the
the best way
physical.
to deliver it, I think, is like,
But I found that doesn't translate. Like, I can be quite blunt, which is something that is, I just like being like, yeah, it's direct, but it doesn't always fly down. And I don't think it's right or wrong. Like, I was just spent the majority of my adult life in a different environment, and I try to be considerate and thought, but that is something that I try to work on, because it's just especially when I'm concentrating, which you've seen, I do this squint face thing, but I'm not angry. I'm just, maybe I've got a small brain and it takes a lot, but it looks like a very angry face. And I'm just like, no, I'm not. Yeah. Try to open my
I'm the
eyes
same.
again.
I've
Yeah.
watched earlier episodes of this and I'm just stood there like, and I'm like, maybe I need to, my mates were sending me videos of me and it's just like, and I'm like, yeah, maybe I need to, one, edit these better, and two, smile.
Yeah.
But you know what it goes back to, mate? I think it goes back to you being an optimist, right? Because if you deliver, mate, what you're doing, you're better than this to somebody. What you're telling them is you're not performing where you should. An optimist listens to it that way. A pessimist listens to it as you're not doing good. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
not the optimist is like, I know I can be better than this. The pessimist is like, you're telling me I'm shit, right? You're not.
Yeah. And especially like I'll always give what can I do to support? So when I'm getting here, what can I do to support you? Like, how can we do this? And they're, oh, nothing. Oh, they don't give feedback. And I'm like, all right, well, if you think I've given you everything, then now this is like I've opened that door. Um, Also learning communication styles. It is important. And so that's something I'm working on, I guess, trying to build that. But yeah, back to the mentor thing.
No,
I think that
smart.
was,
Yeah, go on. Sorry.
yeah, I just back to the mentor thing quickly. Like that has flown through. I now actively pursue, like, and I think that's been a cheat code to this going so well so quickly. Is, man, like I could meet like a scaffolder, a bricky financial plan doctor, like wherever, pilot, or a like cleaner, or someone who's taken a break from work. It doesn't matter. If there's something about them where I'm like, I've learned to look for things in all of it that I admire and spot. And if there's something, every time it's like, hey, can I take you for a coffee? I just want to pick your brain. Like I do it at least once a fortnight from people of some weird backgrounds, and well, not weird, just different to what I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been cheat code, man. Just actively seeking mentors. Like you don't have to like formalize it. You don't have to do anything. They're everywhere. Like how exciting! Like you don't know what you don't know, and you get to meet all these wonderful people who are great in their own right. Like it doesn't have to be about money. It doesn't have to be about like what the fuck is success? Like it's evolving. It changes. It's no, it's a beautiful world, mate, full of beautiful people, and I want to get to know every single one of them.
I like that. I got another cheat code for you to use right before we move on. Another cheat code is it's good for you to learn communication styles. Best thing to do is put people within your business through and I want people to hear this as well, right? Have people do tests, not just when you're interviewing them, when they're actually in the business, and understand how they best communicate with everybody else within the business, right? Somebody might need an arm on the shoulder. Someone might need a kick up the ass. If you know the way that it's going to land best with them, you can approach them in a way and you still learn, great, okay, this person needs the arm around the shoulder. How do I communicate to this person best? Whatever it might be.
So it's cool you say that. And so take this opportunity to thank Paula Holden. I'll make sure she listens to this. She's been wonderful. So yeah, as each team members joined, we've done this testing and then run.
Nice.
And then Paula's been a very, very smart lady, very capable lady. I'd like to know what happens in that brain. Just to give me some of that. But fantastic communicator and facilitates these workshops, and you learn so much. It's so important because we all work so differently. And if we're all the same, it'd be terrifying. I'd annoy the hell out of me. I think I annoy the hell out of everyone actually. So, but like, it's good to understand so then you can take a second, as you said, to be like, actually, that's not how this works best for that person. You don't always nail it. But if you can keep coming back to that and you remember that and then trying to be better and everyone trying to do that, super cool. Good point, man. I agree.
Yeah. But it's hard though, because I consider myself as one of those people who needs a different type of way every day, right? So sometimes I need to kick up the ass and sometimes I need an arm around the shoulder. And it's like, did I kick Joe up the ass on a day where he needs an arm around the shoulder? You know what I mean? But going back to what we were talking about, this is before we talk about the road that you did go down, right? I want you to imagine you stood looking at 3 roads. One of them's the broker pathway where you went. The other one is any other civilian job that you could have done, right? Without sounding too much like an American, what's your civvy job? And then the next one is what happens if you stay what's your civvy job? What happens if you stay in, right? What would that have looked like, first of all? If you'd have stayed in the Navy, like, would you have made officer? Like, what would it have looked like for you?
So I'll get to what my last few years of defense looked like because it's very unique. And I was very but I was a senior non-commissioned officer by that stage. I don't think I ever would have commissioned purely because I still struggle with formalized study. Like if I can't sit, I don't sit still well, like at all. Like I need to be like, this is the most I'll sit. I stand all day. I get up, and I'm not saying do that. I'm not being the early, this is just what I do. And anyone else do. Like I get up at like 3:34, go to the gym, smash the gym, come to work. I want to be like, I like being the first one here, showering. I like having my quiet time. And I'm standing through till I finish whatever I'm doing. Like I don't own a TV at the house. House is for rest, or seeing friends or whatever, anything else. Like I just not a fan. And I'll just, whether working or otherwise, or set like through till 8 o'clock, like I don't sit. Like I just don't sit for the entire day. Don't like it. So that sort of structured pathway, I realized as I got further and further on, wasn't going to fit me. I think
Do you
it's a
need to do a
great
degree?
pathway.
Is that what it is? You have to have a degree.
You don't, particular roles, no, but then to get past certain points as an officer, yes,
Mm.
you do. There's fantastic study pathways through defense, like wildly good. If you ever want to do a degree and not have a massive HECS debt, go there. Then you get all the other defense benefits that you can use for like rent vest. It's crazy. Like that's the only thing I'd change about my career is knowing what I know now.
You've
And
got the MHOC or whatever it's called. What's it called? Lewis.
there's DOAS, which you can do for owner rock, but
That's
now
it.
learning when to strategize that and actually save that for the end and do that like it, because you get paid your rent with a lot of it paid for. So then you can live cheaply and invest elsewhere. I won't go down that path, but looking back, I'm
I've
like,
spoke about it.
dang.
Yeah.
I remember like chatting to, there's a guy who we all sort of, it's funny looking back, we sort of like laughed at what he was doing because we thought it was insane doing all this investing. And looking back, I'm like, oh my, he knew. Like he was like, like he knew what, like just figured it out on his own, what to do. And like the rest, like this, like hats off to him. It's funny. It's a guy I actually don't particularly get along with, but he did, he knew, like, and credit to him. Like, no, and he's just like, nah, you're all wrong. And we're like, oh, in home. Yeah. Okay. But,
He's retired.
yeah, he used to call himself the slumlord millionaire, because he'd just buy in these places that he thought were going to grow, just one after the other, after the other, after the other, and they have, funnily enough. Yeah, back to the thing where I would have gone. The way my brain works, I haven't considered it once. We are where we are, and I only had to look for the. I haven't considered it once. Yeah, I enjoyed what I did. Fell in, like I got out for the right reasons, and I wouldn't change a reason. I wouldn't change a thing in my life. Like even though I said that, what if I wouldn't be where I am now? Like I wouldn't be the person I am now if I had done that and didn't have the experience I had. No, I wouldn't change
Fair.
anything.
Nice, man.
Mistakes and all.
If you were to transition to like a normal real world job, like you could have just ended up working on planes, things like that. Is that what it would have ended up been, like an engineer? Is that what you could have done? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I could have done that. Yeah. So just, a lot of people go work for like Boeing. A lot of people go like, there's a lot of defense, like contractors, the depending on what aircraft type you work on, like Airbus, all sorts of stuff. So I worked on the MRH-90, the Taipan. A lot of guys got out when we worked for Airbus. That's now a decommissioned aircraft. Yeah, you could go do that. And that was a great thing. Your trade could take you. And the skills they give you, plus they give you all that stuff, that transition, if you use it well, like you've got all these certificates, you've got all these other things. I just knew that wasn't going to be it. Like you actually get paid so well in defense for that job. It would have been taking a pay cut to go do it elsewhere. Plus, once you learn to use the defense system well, you've got a fair bit of leave there, so you knew how to play that game pretty well. It was a good lifestyle. But the last 3 years of defense, and I guess this segues into like not looking back and never thinking like how I got here, if that's where you're about to head. Yeah, I started racing motorbikes in 2017, and as like same as this business, like when I get really excited, I hadn't ridden, so I learned to ride in 2017. Always had an interest in motorbikes, but I was a bit of a hoon in cars. And mum and dad always said, if you do one thing in life, please wait till you grow up, like till you settle down before you get a motor. Well, like, all right. So I remember I was driving in my left, like I had like just a basic, like, run around car. Someone overtook me and I thought, oh, what a hoot. And then my brain went, oh, I can get a bike now. Like I've grown up, great. And then I got a motorbike and I was instantly just wringing its neck everywhere I went. Just loved it. And so, by 2017, I learned to ride. In 2019, I was like racing, road racing motorbikes. And man, I wasn't particularly flash at it, like, nothing to write home about. There's a million faster people, but loved it a lot. And then was grateful to get like a really good sponsorship opportunity through Motorcycle Sportsmen of Queensland as their club pilot, which really wasn't based on skill level at all. It was about giving someone a crack and and you're supposed to, like, your community engagement, you representing the club, but they gave you a motorbike. All these sponsors came on board. Like, it was wild. Like it was why I play. It was such a cool program, and will forever be grateful because it's life's a journey, and that was a big part of it. And so I applied for that, got it, and then just started racing motorbikes like flat out. That's all I was, going to every track day, doing everything, like, just never stopped. Like I was just constantly on a motorbike. If I wasn't a track day, I was in the mountains out the back with mates. The first 3 years I lived in Brisbane, I went to the city 5 times. Like it's only been since I moved back out of defence, I've figured out, like I had no idea about the city. Like I just in the mountains constantly, just at the speed limit. It was just the best feeling, man. Like I just love motorbikes. I love it. And great mates again, another new community, people to connect with. So I was doing that, and then I started racing Australian superbikes, like the national stuff. And I was never going to make it. I was never it. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I could hold my own. Like I was mid pack. Like by the end of that in the 300 class. But yeah, I was never going to be it. And then got into sidecar racing. They ended up extending the club pilot thing to keep me as a mentor to try to keep me on, which was great. And had this 3-year racing motorbikes full time, and I got Defence to sponsor us as an elite athlete through Defence, which was really cool. And once again, grateful. So I was on duty anytime I raced motorbikes, which was great. I don't know anyone else. I don't know how I jagged that. And I don't know if Defence will love talking about that, but it was about PR, like, and you've heard how I speak about defence. I know that I've been able to talk and engage with young men, young women, like multiple, who have now joined through that program. And so I'm glad I got to do that, because it was like, oh, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, you race motorbikes for defence. Like, what? And then I'd tell them about my career and about the helicopters and traveling and the friends. And yeah, it was a cool opportunity, man, just racing motorbikes. And then on that path, ended up getting into sidecar racing and met Dan. Spent a couple of years with Dan. We won the Queensland titles. If you haven't seen sidecar racing, I don't know if you can do any clips on this. I don't know if you ever do overlays, but it's loose.
Try.
It's like, oh, just Google like for F1 sidecar racing 1000cc, like 200 horsepower. Like my job was to hang on the back, so it's not like a normal sidecar. Like the riders lay flat on top of the motor, or I lay on top of the motor, and my job is to stop it flipping. So like 270 k's an hour going around, and my job is to stop it flipping just by holding on and counterweighting. It's sick. When
Sounds
you go,
wild.
it is like motorbikes. I don't find when you nail a lap on a normal motorbike, it's peaceful. Like you don't feel like you're going really, really fast. You're moving with the G forces. Everything feels smooth. Like you grip so well, and it feels very controlled. And then at the end of it, you're like, oh, it's had a PB, because you're just do everything right. It's not rushed. It's not like everything's planned, practiced, move through. Sidecar racing is terrifying. It is just trying to all it's trying to do is spit you out and flip. And just with a couple of 100 horsepower going nuts, it's constantly lighting up, kicking sideways. Yeah, actually we just put a photo up on the Fortify Finance page today of me getting punted. It's just me. It says, that meme, like, you're probably wondering how I got here. Yep, that's me. It's just me in the air. Like, it's just me flying through the air. Like, I've had a lot of crashes over the time. But yeah, Dan was great. Awesome guy. Dan's amazing. They've remained very close friends. He and his family are really soul of the earth, good people. It's fun. He's such a gentleman off track, opens everyone's car door. How are you, ma'am? How you doing? He's an older guy, works out at the wharf. Dan, older than me, not older. Yeah, and it's like absolute gentleman. And then everyone's like, you watch when you get on the track, he's this red vest lunatic, like just aggressive. I was like, who is this man? Like just trying to yeah, I remember red flag on the track means no overtaking, stop, race ended, something's happened, get off, like just through pit lane. And he always said, because you're only holding on by your hands and your feet at like going stupidly fast, and it's trying to rip you off the back. And he said, if you ever need off, tap me. Like that's the stuff, like just tap me and I'll call off. I know something's wrong. And I never tapped. Like I was always I'd hold on to the point where I would get spat out. Like there's videos of it too, which is pretty funny. I just like not tap, like just stubborn as in the out the back, like pain. But I didn't tap. And then we had this red flag, and he's just still just full noise on this like couple of hundred horsepower. And I'm like, he hasn't seen it. Oh, we're gonna get disqualified. Like he's just, and I'm just slapping his back. And he finally turns around and looks at me, sees I'm still there, and just slams it back on. And I realize at that point, I'm never going to be able to tap. He doesn't care. It means nothing. Eventually he saw the flags, but we got in and I was like, good to know that if I ever need to tap, it means absolutely nothing to me whatsoever. He's like, oh, sorry. But yeah, so anyway, I had time with them and then met Phil. Phil had the Fire Up Racing team and Ken was a mechanic and they invited us to be a part of that. And Phil's, very good rider, can handle a bike very well. And I hung on to the back of that. We won the 22 and 23 Australian titles, which was cool. We had plans to go over to the Isle of Man TT. Phil's raced it before. Yeah, it was really cool experience and grateful for that. And all the work that Cam put in on the bike as well. But cool community, really, really enjoyed that. But yeah, it all, when priorities shifted and left the Navy, it just put it all to bed to focus on what needed to be done. Oh,
Right.
yeah, which I will
So
touch on
talk to
that.
me. You've taken us there. I don't need to take us anywhere. What comes next is basically the start of what you're doing now, right? So talk to me.
Cool.
Tell the listeners.
So what that actually ended up being, which was really cool, was, oh man, life's funny, isn't it? It takes you on some cool paths. Those 3 years ended up being more than anything because I knew that I was never going to be good enough to be it. And so I really appreciated the time I had. It was never like, I took it seriously and I trained hard. I treated it as a job because that's what it was. Like I was getting paid to go do it. But I knew I was never going to be it. What it really ended up being was an unofficial apprenticeship in business. Because I had all these businesses that were contributing to the program, the club pilot program. And then later, like Race DNA and everything, all these people who, like Jason from Race DNA, put so much into us for the solo racing, great bikes. Thanks for that, mate. And I can crash a motorbike. Like I've written off some bikes. Sorry, Jason. But all these people who were putting in their time, effort, money into me. I must admit, at the very beginning of that, coming from defense, I had no concept. I thought everyone who owned a business was rolling in money. I just had no idea. You own a business, must be rich. Like no matter what it was, like you have no clue because you're sheltered from how the world works. Like, and especially defense, it is not a profit-driven business. There is wastage. Like government, like it is wild. When I got out, I was like, oh my Lord, you could get a lot done really quickly when you're financially motivated and trying to cut, like time is money. Like, wow, you can get a lot done. I must admit at the beginning, I took a few things for granted because of that mindset. Like I just didn't realize that it didn't take off. Like, I started to, check myself. I think it's important to, review how you act, how you behave, especially, if you feel a shift in something, you're like, did I cause? Oh shit. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I was a bit flippant on that. There's several things. And so to start pick up on a few, like starting to take a bit more serious and try to give more back. And so early on in the piece, I was like, oh, putting a sticker on a bike means nothing, but that's what people go, yeah, cool, sponsor us. And put your sticker on my bike. What does that mean? Like we're in this industry, and for everyone listening who mortgage brokers or otherwise, or mum, g'day mum's listening. They no, anyone who runs a business like knows that, there's all these marketing things. But you can put no, you got to sell it. Like you've got to get people in. Like putting your name out there means nothing. Like Fortify compared to, unless you're Nike, unless you're at Adidas, Adidas, however you want to say it, unless it's this huge brand, your brand is not like, it's got to be everywhere. It's got to be so all encompassing. So that's not, how do you sell something? Like you got to connect, you got to get in front, you got to do something more. And so I didn't know any of this. I just naturally started doing it. I was like, all right, let's organize events. So I'd get organize events on behalf. Like I'd get and very grateful for their time, like Australian champions in and stuff like that. People who, Ben Henry from Cube was great. He's a weapon of a dude. Love that guy. All about the kids. Like he's very serious, runs Desmo to Caddy, like big team. And he'd bring the riders along and they'd kindly offer their time too. They'd agree to be there. I'd organize a mountain biking day and organize all the food and get the funding and then brand it for them. Like, not Tristan doing this. It's like Cube Racing doing this, like Motorcycle Sportsman doing this, Buddha's Motorcycle Spray Painting doing it, and put it on for them and just try to pump their business to give back, try get some business in the door, sell them, like do as much social media as I could. And I was brand new to that, which I'm still haven't mastered by any means, but just trying really hard to get bums in the door, like, and to get some business on their plate, which wasn't there, to say thanks. That man Buddha he's got 5 kids with disabilities. 5 kids. I made a doc on him. Like, his family's had a documentary, and he is like salt of the earth, hard worker. And I crash so much, man. And he's the spray painter and body repair. And like, I just cartwheel bikes. Like, it's going out of fashion. That's how I learned. Like, I was just like, I wonder how fast I can attack that corner. And I just, like, zero concern for my body, just hurl myself at, and then flip, like, and just be like cartwheeling with his bike down the road. And instead, pretty fit at the time, to stand up. Ooh, we're alive. Yay, let's do it again. Like, but it's different. And this guy just give his time, like, oh man, the generosity and the love of the sport that he gave, that all of them gave. Cool, man. So how do you repay that? How when you're shit, like, compared to, like, the top guy, like, you're never going to be it, man. And it. So, like, do your best. Like, I just tried to learn how to how to do stuff for him. Whether it worked or not, I don't know, but they could see I tried. So that was cool. Fast forward, a very good friend of mine, Rick Sawade, he's a financial planner, and I didn't really know what they did. I was still riding the motorbikes, and he came up to us and, said, "What are you doing with the Navy?" Love it, man. Race motorbikes across the country. It's pretty good, dude. And he's like, "Oh, cool. Well, if you ever leave, give us a call." And like, I didn't really know him that well. I knew he was a lovely guy. Had a lot of, we talk to people who like sound fella. Like, Rick's a bit older than us. Like, he was in banking and then mortgage broker, and now financial planner. Like, he's, forgive me, Rick, I presume, potentially 60. I'm going to tread carefully there, but he's very smart, man. Very caring, very wise. Wise is probably the perfect word. He's a man who's lived many lifetimes and experienced things that shape a man and a person. He and his family have been through some things, and he's just a good, good person. Yeah, anyway, so fast forward another year or whatever, and fell in love, mate. With a wonderful human. We're not together now, but all the respect in the world for her as an individual. And yeah, absolutely, is the right thing to do. It's just that I knew I didn't want to go through having someone move to Nowra and give up their career that they've worked hard for. And I loved Brisbane, so it's just the right thing to do. I knew, like, I was happy to try something different, as long as she didn't have to move down there and give up her stuff. I was like, cool, I'll try something else. And yeah, man, it was the right thing. Like, it's 100% the right thing. Yeah, gave Rick a call and was like, hey, man, help.
I'm here.
Yeah, I had no idea, man. Like, it's same. Like, I just love life. Like, I love humans. So I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do next. And he gave me this 3-hour motivational Zoom on stop being behind you belong in front of, like, people. You're not a back office person. Like, not that there's anything wrong with that. He's just like, you can't sit still, mate. You love talking to people. And he just said, you genuinely care. You work really hard. You build trust easily, and, like, you're reliable. He's like, you genuinely, the biggest thing is people know straight away that you actually care. And he goes, that's something that has a place in the world of business, and especially service-based industry. Yes, any hard skill you can learn, which I agree with. Any hard skill you can learn. Soft skills, they are what they are. Like, you do or you don't with particular things. And at the end of that, I think Rick actually meant for me to go work for someone.
So he was going to try and introduce you to someone, is what he was proposing. Yeah.
and just went and once again, life's funny. Went and started, like, looking into it, pursuing it. I didn't really know what a mortgage broker was, man. Like, at all. Didn't own a home at the time. Like, I'd been good with my money, but Nothing crazy, just you taught to save and defense, to not to grow. And yeah, anyway, I started looking into it, and once again, world's funny place. Went to like a might have been I'm gonna forget their name. This is gonna be really bad. They're huge the accelerator guys, Ash Playstead, and who, man, I forget it. Yeah.
I
Anyway,
know Ash. I
yeah,
know Ash. I don't know. I don't know about this previous thing that he did.
yeah, yeah. Oh, he the guy who, yeah, with the mortgage accelerator, and they were putting on a new broker or learn about broking day or something, and I went up there and met Mark, who became my mentor, and ended up, like, I suppose, went underneath like their sub aggregation model and started. Went through them originally, and it was great, mate. Like, once again, blessed, like so many good people like that I've come across at the right time. And Mark was a fantastic mentor, and as I said, look, I learned quickly, pretty focused kind of person. I'll set my mind to something, like it's to a detriment. It can be focused sometimes. So look, I want hand holding to begin with, but to grow, like, grow with us. And he lived up to everything that he said he'd do, and then more. Grew very rapidly, and yeah, it's great. So we won a few awards in the first year, and we'll get nominated and win some. And I don't know, it's just such a fun journey. But he was there through that. Yeah, I suppose fast forwarding a bunch through here, and then yeah, no, that's how I got into it, mate. Like, I just called everyone who I knew, and I was like, "Hey, I'm starting to be a mortgage broker. I've got a mentor. If you give us a chance, that'd be great." Started with friends and fam, and just went hard. Like, I just tried to figure out everything. It was pretty unhealthy to begin with. Like, I was sitting from six till midnight without moving. Had a sense of purpose for some personal reasons that, yeah, need to felt like I needed to get it up and running quickly to provide some support, to give some voice, and it meant a lot to me to learn it quickly. I know I haven't given you a chance to ask like any questions, so if you feel, yeah, just rambling, but it's something that can't be underestimated is when you go from being very competent at something, like very good at something. So like, I'd been in military 15 years. I knew my job inside out. I was very comfortable. There was a sense of identity, outside of working on helicopters and being a maintenance manager or supervisor. There was a sense of identity wearing a uniform all the time. But then going into being brand new to industry, like, I'd never done loan processing. I'd done a Cert 4 and no industry experience, like zero, nothing to do with it at all. Remotely like it. Like, that was scary. Like, that was not a comfortable feeling. Like, that was sickening. Like, the fear of not succeeding, the fear of, I don't even know, not being able to provide. Like
You just feel incompetent. Like, that's probably what it is, because you are so used, muscle memory, everything. You were the most competent you could be in what you was doing, and then you've removed it, and you're like completely incompetent. You don't know what you don't know. You don't know shit.
yeah,
Like,
bro, you've been through
you know
that
what I mean?
too, haven't you? Like, you did something similar. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I started in recruitment. I was working at Tesla, obviously the car company. Elon Musk, being the nut job that he is, sending emails around. I'm working on the factory floor tonight. All this shit. I'm sleeping at the office. Blah blah blah. And then he ended up making 10% of people redundant. I went with that. I ended up starting in recruitment. But it was one of them. Yeah, it's something you have the personality for. The soft skills, the care, you can learn the hard stuff. The hard skills you can learn, but the soft skills that you need to have, you can't teach them for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And mate, you do have like you and I have obviously like gelled like recently, and your authenticity through, and this isn't blowing smoke up your bum, like, it's proven. Like, yeah, I've been through that with you. Like, it's very cool. Like, you are very, like, it was a very authentic and genuine experience where everything you said you'd do, you did, and then followed up your words with actions, which, like, the important thing is you communicated that well. A lot of people talk that shit, like, but you do, and that was cool. And so I think you're in a great spot. You're in the right area. It's cool.
Thank you. But now we'll talk more about you, because it's funny. I was gonna, the guy in the veil. I was gonna say to you at the end, I need to start doing them this year anyway, and asking people for real social proof. Like, anyone can write anything on Google, anyone could do anything, but to take the time and do a video, shows that I did something. So I was gonna ask you to do that afterwards, but you know, We'll fix it in between. Why not?
Yeah, no worries.
But all right, now let's talk about Fortify Finance and you growing the business, right? So what does the next year look like for you? Like, do you plan that far ahead, or are you just
Yeah, of course. Got like there's a few different goals, like some personal goals, which then end up tying in with personal growth, that tying in with the business, like not so much financial. It's part of it. It's more. It is very enlightening, and it shines a spotlight uncomfortably running a business, but especially when you start bringing on team members. This shines a pretty hectic light. I've touched on some already, like insecurities, even like, around my communication style. Like, who am I? Like, I know I'm intense. Like, it's great. I can do so much by myself. How do I involve others? Like, how do I get the best out of them? There's a lot around me being comfortable with who I am, understanding who I am, because that's what makes me me, but then also still trying to get the best, not like best for the team. Like, maybe out of, like, I don't want to say out of people. Like, I want people to feel like they're doing their best and being the best they have been within their profession. Like, how they can improve their standards as I improve mine, so that we're constantly moving up as a team. Yeah, what you touched on before is a great thing around communication, but then also, like, on the non-fluffy side of things, just performance. Like, how do we be better for our clients? How do we make things tidier? Are we learning when we make mistakes? Like, how do we track that and move that forward and move the needle? All whilst growing. So that personal development on that side. I've got some big plans that, I've got some goals, some numbers, some things I want to do there. We've brought on two team members have joined relatively recently. So I'm going through that phase that we all need to, there's brokers that are probably listening to this who are doing the individual, and you can do so much. Like, I had no idea that what I was doing as an individual was a lot until someone told us. Like, they're like, that's a lot. Like, I was like, that's why you're so stressed. And but yeah, it helped me. And that's, once again, it's always relative. There's always someone doing more and heaps more, and that's cool. And hats off from, like, my lot might be minuscule for someone else on their own who's got it covered and got their systems covered, and that's sweet. That's actually an important point for anyone listening who is new. Learn not to compare in terms of negatively. But there is always someone doing more, like, and volume, and who's cracked the code. Be happy for them. Cheer them on. Learn something. Reach out. All the good. This industry is supportive as hell. They yet to find someone who, I might not have time to talk to you at that time. If they're busy, they're busy. That's for sure. Like, yeah, I know Joe enjoys kind of chatting with me sometimes. There's like, can't talk straight. Oh, but
I just get a WhatsApp voice now, and I'm like, oh yeah,
yeah.
no different than how my siblings try and communicate with me these days. Anyway, so it's like,
But yeah, there's always someone doing more. But learn from them. Don't be jealous of them. And look, if they're bragging, ramming it in your face and all that, cool. Like, you don't have to like them. There might just be something you can take from there. You don't have to hang out with them every day. That's cool. Just be happy for other people. Crack on. But there was the inevitable stage. So there's different.
shout out everyone, shout out Ryan, shout out Kylie, shout out all of them.
I wish I could do that.
Shout
There's
them
two
out because they
noises
are
I wish
top
I could
people.
make. I wish
Which
I
is
could
the
make
first one?
that noise and a dolphin noise. I can't do either.
I won't try.
Do the dolphin. I can just do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ruan and Kyle are really, really cool people. I met them I was having quite a difficult time in my life, going through a separation, and trying to figure out, like, why I'm still doing what I'm doing. And I was in a pretty shitty spot. It was a very stressful gig that we do. When you say you're still getting literally hundreds of emails a day, and your phone never stops ringing, and people are calling you at 9 at night, and you haven't got your boundaries up yet. Like you hadn't learned when to say no to things. And yeah, anyway, so they were very, very cool to me through a very difficult time, just getting to know them. Like, you know, we weren't working together at that stage and eventually ended up engaging with him down the track and Ruan, and like, the whole thing's been really good. He was also very patient with me when I was, yeah, as I said, like I was in a great headspace when I first met him, and it's probably a bit, even though I reached out to him eventually, like brought him on and then was resisting everything he's saying just because I was like, yeah, anyway. So we've laughed about that one a fair bit. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Yeah, how's it
You've gone
going
on a
with this
journey,
year?
right? And I can tell that because when you first came to me, after I first came to you, you was asking me loads of questions, and you was like, you wanted to know everything, and you wanted to be like, I need you to give me feedback on this, or can you tell me if this is right, or can you tell me if that's right? Like what you're saying to me is, when you first started speaking to Iran, there was no way you was asking for that feedback, and there was no way you was taking it on board. So you've been on a serious journey, realistically, where you've actually started to. Do you know what I mean? Is that
Yeah,
fair to
yeah,
say?
yeah. It is. It is. And yeah, I think a lot of that is, yeah, without going too deep into things. Yeah, you have to be comfortable and happy within yourself to be able to take feedback really well. And if you're having a rough time, it is harder. And so that was like, I'm glad I stuck through it because I was, yeah, having a rough time. But if anyone is having a rough time, like make sure to sing out. Always happy to take a call, whether I know you or not. But I knew that I'd worked hard for something and I didn't want to let it go. I'd have conversations with myself around why I was doing this and that, reframing it and repurposing things. And yeah, am I being resistant to change? I do like that I work hard on things and that I am persistent. Like, I'm learning to be proud of that as opposed to fight it. Yeah, which is different. Once again, surrounded by good people. Yeah, listen, I had an anthem for last year, which was really cool. There's a song called "Change It" by Touch Talk. Minimal words in it, but yeah, as the name suggests, like if you don't like something, just change it. Yeah, listen to that. It's good. Change
Oh,
it.
well done.
Touch Talk. I listened to it, I reckon, hundreds of times last year. Made sure I didn't have distractions. Learned when people are saying you're trying too hard. They're not the people you want in your life. They're not bad people, but they're not who you want to be surrounded by. When you're trying your best, like the OGs, they're around you. They're like, cool. They're supporting you. They know that if you want to do something, if you want to be something different, you have to do something different. Like you can't do what everyone else is doing with your 9 to 5 and then expect to get, different results, like, or not go learn and not challenge yourself. Yeah, I still haven't got it sussed. Like, there's people doing it way better and I'm keen to learn from them. Like I love seeing that you go there. Yeah, I know it's been a good year, man. It's been 2025 was sick, even though every year is good. Every year gets better. Like even the hard years, they serve purpose. Like it's 2025. I'm deeply grateful for A, everyone around us, but then B, like the opportunities that presented. Like the business has grown a lot. Definitely bringing people on is a big challenge. Like, that's learning. That's another learning curve, man. You ain't learning, you're going backwards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
yeah. There's some cool industry, like just, I love how different everyone does things. Like I love watching how there's no right way to do it. And there's some loud personalities who like, I enjoy it. Like I think I enjoy watching Bora. Like I love reading his stuff. It seems like he'd be a funny dude. Never met the bloke, but I reckon he'd be a funny bugger. Yeah, it's just like, there's so many people out there doing it different ways. And like, as long as you're not hurting anyone, I think it's cool because there's no one way to skin a cat, that's for sure.
Correct. We're-
You go.
No, no. I was going to say, I think that's a beautiful way to end it, to be honest, mate. Like, let's not give too much away on what the future looks like, but I'm sure we'll talk about it. But mate, like, yeah, thank you for jumping on and doing this.
No, I don't know if we actually spoke too much about the braking.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, that's a matter of fact is what you're doing in the moment, right? But like, I'm sure we could do this again at some point and we can talk. What was 2026 like? What was 2027 like?
Yeah, man. And like, honestly, braking, I mean, when we did that disc, just to wrap up, like when we did that disc testing, they said if you like, if you only move from here to here, like from your natural to your adjusted style, like you're probably in the right spot. Mine didn't move, like just didn't move. They're like, you're like, I get to meet cool people every day and try help. Like I get to try problem solve. Sick, man. Like how good. I love this gig. Like it's stressful as fuck, but it's
It's
yeah,
rewarding, though.
rewarding.
Most
It's
rewarding
fun.
things are very stressful at the end of the day, right? You know what I
100%,
mean?
man. 100%. The yeah, hope to catch you up here in Brizzy soon. Filthy Southerner. It'd be good to see you, man. And thanks for having us on. And thanks for being such a wonderful bloke.